With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, I now declare that all the Honorable Judges have assembled. With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, may I now request your Lordship to commence your Lordship's speech.
My esteemed brother, Sri Justice Joymalya Bagchi, my esteemed sister and brother judges, Lord Advocate General Sri S. C. Ram, President Andhra Pradesh High Court Bar Association Sri K. Janaki Rami Reddy, Chairman Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Ghanta Ramarao, Additional Advocate Generals, Assistant Solicitor General, Sri Harinath, Learned Public Prosecutors, other law officers in the Office of Advocate General, learned senior advocates, and respected members of the bar, members of judicial fraternity, officers of the registry, family members of other honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered here to bid a warm farewell to our esteemed brother, Justice Bagchi, as his lordship is transferred as a judge of the Calcutta High Court. It is a ghar wapsi for Honorable Justice Bagchi. My association with his lordship in this High Court is only for a few days. But we met for the first time in a conference at National Judicial Academy, Bhopal, somewhere in 2011 and 12. Thereafter, we again met at a regional conference at National Judicial Academy at Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh, where I got the opportunity to closely interact with him, and from that day onwards, we remained in constant touch. Anyone meeting his lordship, even for a short period, would be certainly impressed by his cool and composed personality. Only today I availed the opportunity to share a division with him, and this association on the dais will remain in my cherished memory forever. During his short tenure as a judge of Andhra Pradesh High Court, his lordship contributed a lot on the judicial as also on the administrative side. During the tenure of less than 3 months, his lordship disposed of more than 1100 cases. To be precise, it is 1105 cases. Showing concern to the fundamental right to liberty, his lordship, in the matter of Bodhi Lakshmi Devi versus State of Andhra Pradesh, directed the State of Andhra Pradesh to constitute an advisory board as per Section 9 of the Andhra Pradesh Prevention of Dangerous Activities of Bootleggers, Dacoits, Drug Offenders, Gundas, Immoral Traffic Offenders, and Land Grabbers Act 1986. Within a month, failing which, the state shall be injuncted from passing any order of detention under the said act. Then came the matter of K. Lazar Babu versus Andhra Pradesh Public Service Commission, where his lordship was dealing with the plea raised by an orthopedically challenged person seeking appointment for the post of Assistant Motor Vehicle Inspector, which was denied to him on the ground of his disability. While dealing with the law on the subject succinctly, his lordship set aside the order passed against the petitioner and extended to him the rule of reservation as envisaged under Section 33, Roman 2 of the Persons with Disabilities Act 1995. Though his lordship has delivered several other important judgments on the issues relating to central excise, commercial tax, and on all other relevant topics, the 2 judgments referred above clearly depicts his lordship's concern for the need to protect fundamental rights of the citizen and those who are oppressed or physically challenged. During his stint as a lawyer of Calcutta High Court from November 1991 onwards, he argued n number of important cases relating to criminal and constitutional law. His forcible argument before the Special Bench of Calcutta High Court against the ban imposed by the state of West Bengal on the book Dvikhondito, written by Bangladeshi author Taslima Haseen, is a testimony of his immaculate and impeccable quality of presentation. We are all missing a kind-hearted, ever-smiling, cool, calm, and righteous, speedy decision-taking personality. It is a loss to this High Court to part with such an eminent judge. We bow down to your personality, sir. I, on my own behalf and on behalf of my brother and sister judges, wish Justice Bagchi a happy, healthy, and peaceful life and good luck in attaining greater heights in life. Thank you.
With the permission of my lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, may I now request the learned Advocate General to commence his speech on behalf of the legal fraternity.
My Lords, the Honorable the Chief Justice, my Lord Justice Joymalya Bagchi, my Lords the Honorable Judges, Senior Counsel, Registrars of the Court, Chairman Bar Council, President Bar Association, Assistant Solicitor General, the Public Prosecutor, Law Officers of Government, and the Advocate Fraternity. A farewell is essentially, as the word itself indicates, is to wish the departing person from our midst to fare well in life. A mix of thoughts and emotions keep gushing to our presence when we record our acknowledgement of what the person leaving us does to our way of thinking, does to our way of life, does to our being in the profession. Coming from a cloistered and a rich bar such as Kolkata, His Lordship, as soon as he took office, indicated his deep and abiding respect and acknowledgement of the role of the bar. On the first available opportunity, he had told a junior-most member of the bar that he has a duty to present his facts, and we have a far more solemn duty of deciding the same. It was Socrates who said, 4 things belong to a judge: to hear courteously, to answer wisely, to consider soberly, and to decide impartially. I had perhaps had only 7 to 9 appearances before the Court of Justice Bagchi, including the one cited by the learned Chief Justice. Lazarus was a case where I assisted the course of the proceedings before the division bench. What stands out is a Socratic line of questioning. If there is a statement of defense on the part of one of the lawyers, there is an innocent line of questioning the basis thereof, then the assumption thereof, and putting on the table every possible viewpoint which could be pro or anti the proposition. And of the 7 matters that had appeared before the division bench, of which he was the lead member, they were contested. On the other side was the learned senior counsel, Mr. Adinarayan Rao, and there were 2 constitutional functions which were at variance with what is required to be done. All these 7 matters, after the disposal, brought a smile to both the appearing parties. And I said so much after one of the disposals in respect of an election matter. Government lawyers exhort judicial restraint. Citizen lawyers would exhort intervention. But here was a judge who struck a middle course. as if almost by default. And the threshold was so strong on fundamental principles of the Constitution, the separation of powers, the overriding concern for protection of fundamental rights, the human rights. And the bouncing board was so strong and was so robust that it did not fail on any occasion to tick off the wrongdoer and at the same time ensuring that the state participates in its function far more responsibly and humbly. So, when the roster has environment, tax, you have human rights, you have detention matters, what came across was the deep understanding of the law, the erudition. I was going through His Lordship's biodata. He was a guest speaker, he was a professor and a prolific writer, all of which was captured in his understanding of the subject matter and in a participatory debate. And at the end of it all, and even today, as I was saying, there was an application which ought to have been filed seeking extension of time to bring on record further facts. And while pointing out to paragraphs 8 and 9 of the counter affidavit that was already filed, was a sense of discomfort at the government not having done the required thing of ensuring that the land which was initially allocated was taken off. And the words were, how can it happen on a whim? Now, these words were not uttered by a judge for the first time, not in this court. And this would not be the last time. I'm sure the government pleader went home thinking that he had a rough pat on his knuckle. But then the required dose was administered ever so pleasantly, with no party grimacing in pain. The restrained dignity of a judge, the aura of understatement, the culture of being appropriate, the tradition of being respectful, all of these are what Justice Bagchi stood an epitome of. And the other interactions and a few witticisms of yours, we have left it aside for a less formal occasion. We intend serving you that as well. This is what was said about parting. I don't know when we will see each other again, or if at all we would, or what the world would be like when we do. But I will think of you when I need to be reminded of goodness of soul. I unquote. The goodness speaks through geography. The goodness speaks through hard iron. And the goodness is not held hostage by contemporariness of fleeting events. Anything that is short-lived as a tenure leaves a long memory. You have given us a lot of joy, Justice Bagchi. We will miss having appeared in front of you. My colleagues will have a few more stories to tell you when we meet elsewhere. And here is wishing you that wherever you go, and you going back to Kolkata is hardly a ground of envy, obviously it has earned your return. And wherever you are, I'm sure only justice would prevail, and you will leave the indelible mark and continue to shape and impress the lives that you come across. God bless you. God bless your ilk. And God bless you with wonderful things, including a judicial career which will span jurisdictions, which will have an imprint of longevity written all over it. On behalf of the fraternity, I wish you well. We have had a wonderful time when your lordships were presiding over the second court, bringing back the aura of Justice Raghuveer's court or Justice Sivaramakrishna's court, the dignity and all that is accumulated in the culture of a rich tradition of a bench and bar. I wish you well, Justice Joymalya Bagchi, and the fraternity that I represent joins me unanimously in thinking that a little more of you wouldn't have hurt us, but then that was not our call to make. All of us respond, as the Land Chief Justice was pointing it out during the division bench in the afternoon, and wishing you all the best in every corner of whatever you intend doing in life. I remain an Advocate General who perhaps didn't covet this opportunity.
Chairman Bar Council of AP, Land Public Prosecutor, Land Assistant Solicitor General, Law Officers of the State, Land Senior Advocates, colleague advocate friends, and staff of the High Court, print and electronic media. Today we have assembled here to bid farewell to the Honorable Justice Joymalya Bagchi on his Lordship being transferred as Judge of the Honorable High Court of Calcutta. My Lord was born on 3rd October 1966 and did his schooling from Calcutta Boys School and passed LLB from Calcutta University in the year 1991. My Lord stood first in all LLB examinations and enrolled as an advocate on 28th November 1991 and commenced his practice in the High Court at Calcutta from 1991. My Lord appeared in a number of important cases relating to criminal and constitutional law, including death sentences and clemency cases before the High Court at Calcutta, other High Courts and Supreme Court of India. My Lord argued successfully before the Special Bench of Calcutta High Court against the ban imposed by the state of West Bengal on the book Jukandito, written by Bangladeshi famous author Taslima Nasrin. My Lord also appeared in various public interest litigations on behalf of human rights organizations and actively exposed their cause for civil liberty and environmental protection. My Lord was also panel advocate for Union of India, State of West Bengal and other corporations, including Calcutta Municipal Corporation, Calcutta Port Trust and Calcutta Electricity Supply Corporation. My Lord had also served as part-time lecturer in Law Department in the University of Calcutta and Jogesh Chandra Chowdhury College of Law, and also a guest lecturer to the West Bengal National University of Judicial Science at Calcutta. My Lord was also a guest speaker in UGC-sponsored refresher course for lecturers on human rights in India at Jodhpur University and Charu Chandra College, Calcutta. There are a number of articles on legal topic to his Lordship credit, which was proud publication of many repeated journals. My Lord was appointed as judge in the High Court at Calcutta on 27 June 2011 and transferred to this Honorable Court on 4/1/2021. My Lord delivered a number of landmark judgments in the areas of public concern. In criminal appeal, Malati Sardar versus State of West Bengal, as it took 6 years for the appellant convict to prefer an appeal due to non-appointment of a lawyer on behalf of the convict. Then my Lord, while expressing his concern over failure in extending legal aid to the convicts, issued guidelines like informing the conviction and sentence in a language understandable to convict, his right to prefer an appeal, and his right to avail legal aid from Legal Services Authority. His Lordship also directed to make necessary amendments to Chapter 10 of the Calcutta High Court Criminal Subordinate Courts Rules 1985. In another landmark judgment, that is Soma Shah Sen versus State of West Bengal, wherein an imprisoned developer wanted to sell the property to the willing buyers by executing a registered sale deed, which was objected by the prison authorities. Then his Lordship held that the right to trade and profession as enshrined under Constitution of India is an essential fundamental right, and the same do not stand eclipsed by the continuing incarceration of a prisoner, and his lordship further clarified that registrations can be carried out inside the prison premises also. My Lord, being the executive chairman of AP State Legal Services Authority, in a program conducted by National Legal Services Authority on schemes for women and children, wherein my Lord emphasized that police and legislative acts alone cannot reduce the atrocities against women, but will decrease when the men starts respecting women even in their thoughts, and further stated that girls and women are facing discrimination even providing nutritious food with the boys and men, and are suffering from anemia. Finally, asked the society to introspect itself and change its perspective, as women are losing their self-respect on many occasions, which itself clearly shows that His Lordship's concern about the upliftment and empowerment of women in the society. Though my Lord is leaving this honorable court in 10 months' time, but His Lordship would be remembered for his precious contribution to legal fraternity and for upholding the values of this temple of justice. I, on behalf of the Andhra Pradesh High Court Advocates Association, wish all the best to His Lordship, Honorable Justice Joymalya Bagchi, and also congratulate the state of West Bengal for getting its treasure back. Thanking you, sir.
With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, may I now request the learned Chairman, Bar Council of High Court of Andhra Pradesh, to commence his speech on behalf of the legal fraternity.
The Honorable Chief Justice Prashant Kumar Misraji, the other companion judges, especially the Joymalya Bagchi, Saab, the Land Advocate General, the President of the Association, the Assistant Solicitor General, Land Public Prosecutor, law officers, senior counsels, other advocate friends, ladies and gentlemen. My Lord Bagchi sworn in first week of January, and when I had the opportunity to meet my Lord, in the first instance explained the various problems that advocate fraternity facing. My Lord has shown the concern. My Lord, after seeing the biodata, normally all the good academicians may not be successful in the profession, but exceptionally, not only exceptional in academics, but also achiever in the profession as an advocate. And then as a judge, though it is a short period, 10 months, though my Lord is a stickler confined to the rule book, but at the same time, very humane while enforcing the human rights. My Lord is having all essential qualities, as my friend pointed out, as a Socrates said, hearing courteously and answering wisely, considering soberly, and deciding impartially. Long back, all the qualities are present in my Lord. My Lord is, we are missing the my Lord in this court. Though short period, Your Lordship left unforgettable impressions all our minds. And my Lord, on 26th January, after our Republic Day celebrations, I shall remember, still remember, which indicated and which has established that the advocate in my Lord was not still dominating my Lord, though long back my Lord was elevated to the bench. Still, he is having a concern to the advocates' fraternity. With these few words, I wish a successful career in the remaining tenure of my Lord, and wish all success, and wish that he shall get a better opportunity and elevations. Thank you, sir.
With the permission of my lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, may I now request the learned Assistant Solicitor General, High Court of Andhra Pradesh, to commence his speech on behalf of the legal fraternity.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, learned judges of this Honorable Court, My Lord Justice Joymalya Bagchi, learned Advocate General, Chairman Bar Council, State of Andhra Pradesh, the President of the Bar Association, Public Prosecutor, Senior Advocates, Standing Counsels for the central and state governments, registrars of this court, staff of this court, advocate friends present here. My Lord, today is a very historic day for the state of Andhra Pradesh because the state was formed on 1st November 1956. Today is also a day to be remembered by the Bar Association and advocates of the state. Why? Because the courts have opened physically after 20 long months. But my Lord, I am sure the entire Bar Association of the High Court in unison is feeling that today is not a great day for the bar, as we will be missing my Lord Justice Joymalya Bagchi ji from tomorrow on the bench. My Lord, in his short tenure as a judge of this Honorable Court, my Lord ensured that whoever young advocate who appeared before him, he needs to upgrade his skills and ensured and encouraged the advocates, young advocates, to upgrade their skills, present the cases better before the court. Such concern my Lord used to express, and we were witnessing virtually in the courts. The bar would have enriched much more had this transfer been delayed a bit further. In physical courts, the interaction amongst the judges and the bar would be different from a virtual interaction. All that bar feels is that the Calcutta bar is fortunate to have my lords back in their court, and our bar is unfortunate. But at the same time, while our bar wishes a farewell to my Lord Justice Bagchi, would also earnestly, with a fond hope, wait for welcoming my lords in a better position in this honorable court. With these few words, my Lord, I wish my lords, Justice Joymalya Bagchi, a great tenure ahead and greater heights to reach. And God be with him always with good health and happiness. Jai Hind.
Now I request Sri Justice Joymalya Bagchi ji to give reply.
My Lord, the Honorable, the Chief Justice Prashant Kumar Mishra, my esteemed sister and brother judges, learned Advocate General, learned President of the AP High Court Advocates Association, Chairman of the AP State Bar Council, learned Assistant Solicitor General of India, learned Public Prosecutor, other law officers of the state, senior advocates, other members of the bar, learned registrars, officers, staff of the High Court, members of the legal fraternity, members of the press, and all other friends present here. A very good afternoon to all of you. It fills my heart with pleasure to see a court full of learned advocates in person and not on the screen. It is the beginning, perhaps, of the end of the pandemic. Thank you, the Honorable the Chief Justice, the Advocate General, the learned President of the Bar, the Chairman of the Bar Council, and the Assistant Solicitor General for your kind words. I do not know whether I deserve them, but they are most appreciated. It is my rare privilege to be a part of this grand and venerated institution, the High Court of Andhra Pradesh. which, though in its present avatar, is barely 3 years old, has a rich and varied tradition and history. Born from the womb of the High Court of Madras to serve the newly created state of Andhra, it began its journey from Guntur in 1954. After the creation of the state of Andhra Pradesh under the State Reorganization Act, the court shifted to Hyderabad in 1956 and continued to function from there for the next 6 decades. Upon the bifurcation of the state, it evolved to the present status since 2019. Great judges have presided over its benches and have greatly contributed to the development of jurisprudence in our country. This court, through its judicial pronouncements, has stoutly defended individual rights and unflinchingly taken to task executive transgressions and state excesses. Its track record in protecting property rights, individual liberties, and freedom is exemplary. Visionary ideas, much ahead of their times, have found place in various verdicts of this court. I feel humbled to have had an opportunity to be a part of this institution, and I have tried to the best of my ability to contribute to its growth and development. When I first took oath in this court, I must say I was full of apprehension. I had not come to the state before. I did not know its language or culture. I was also alien to the tradition and practice of the court. However, all my fears and apprehensions vanished when I met and interacted with the wonderful wise women and men who adorn this bench as my colleagues. All of them and their families accepted me with open arms, and due to their gracious hospitality, support and cooperation, my stay here was most comfortable, and through their wise counsel and guidance, I was able to discharge my judicial duties effectively. I thank them all from the depth of my heart. I had a wonderful time conducting proceedings on the bench. The bar here is one of the finest in the country. Although due to the second wave of the pandemic, I had very little physical interaction with the bar, I was deeply impressed by the erudition and the ability of the counsels who argued before me online or in hybrid mode. The members of the bar were always well prepared with the facts and the law, and most importantly, they had excellent court manners. Not only the seniors, but also juniors assisted me effectively in various matters. Owing to the earnest support of the bar, this court was able to dispose of maximum number of cases during the pandemic period. The bar is the best teacher of a judge. I was immensely enriched while hearing the arguments of the learned advocates who interpreted intricate questions of law with clarity and helped me in dispensing justice in the best possible manner. I wish all the members of the bar well, and I am sure under the leadership of the senior members, the bar will prosper and assist this court to administer justice to one and all. To the juniors, who are the future of this court, I reserve the kindest words. I know how hard it is to slog in the formative years of one's profession on the fond expectation that there may be light at the end of the tunnel. Dear young friends, from my experience, I assure you, there is no substitute to honesty and hard work. Work hard, keep your head held high, and maintain dignity and decency towards one and all. This is a sure key to success in future. The registers and other officers of the court have been a solid support to me. Their experience and suggestions in administrative matters as well as previous practices of the court helped me greatly in discharging administrative functions. I thank them all for their support. I thank the Member Secretary, Andhra Pradesh High Court Legal Services Authority, The Secretary, AP High Court Legal Services Committee, and other officers of the Legal Services Authority in their continuous efforts to provide legal aid and spread legal awareness among the weak and needy. Their untiring efforts, in spite of the prevailing pandemic, yielded exemplary results in disposal of cases during Lok Adalats. I wish them well in their tireless endeavor in making legal aid a success in the state, particularly in spreading legal awareness and access to justice during the Legal Aid Week in the 75th year of our independence, celebrated as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. I also thank the staff of the court, as well as my personal staff, who, in spite of all difficulties, tirelessly worked and were always beside me with a smile on their faces. But for their help, I would not have survived a single day. This court is replete with immense talent and has a very bright future. However, it also has its own challenges and teething problems. The infrastructure of the court is not adequate and requires immediate expansion. Number of court halls is not commensurate with the sanctioned strength of the court. The court building does not have adequate space for records and other offices. No judicial academy has been set up in the state as yet. In this regard, it may be relevant to recount the repeated assertions of the Honorable the Chief Justice of India that robust infrastructure is the bedrock on which the edifice of the justice delivery system stands. In the absence of adequate and proper infrastructure, administration of justice is impaired and access to justice is denied to the common man. Steps have been taken for the expansion of the High Court building, setting up of Judicial Academy, filling up of vacancies among the staff, and I am sure under the inspiring leadership of our Chief Justice, cooperation from honorable colleagues, members of the bar and other stakeholders, the court will overcome these challenges and will blossom to its fullest potential and zealously uphold the rule of law and serve the people of India in general and the state of Andhra Pradesh in particular. In conclusion, I state, though my term was short, it has been most rewarding. I have been greatly enriched as a judge and as a person. However, the best takeaway from my experience is that I have discovered a home away from home. Today I can say with pride, I am not only a son of Bengal, but also an adopted son of Andhra Pradesh. With this, I wish you all a happy and prosperous Diwali. Thank you to one and all. Jai Hind.
With the permission of my lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, may I now declare that the proceedings are concluded.
Recording has stopped.